Didn't we just do this?
It's been a very quick week.
It's been a quick
A very
5 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I mean, holy cow. Where did the time go? I mean, turn around 1 minute where what are we doing? What are we doing next? What the hell are we going to do to opening bank accounts and getting LLCs registered and trying to cover now 2 winds blows and everything else. And all of a sudden, we're in the middle of February, or almost the middle of February. So
It'll be Valentine's, your favorite holiday, before
I
we know
know,
it.
yeah. Yeah, next episode recorded on Valentine's evening, no less. So, all right. Well, this should be. It's episode 6.
Yes.
Very appropriate number for this episode.
Yes.
So,
Very good.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know. What else are we going to talk about in the cold open, or do we just need to get going?
Probably just need to get going.
You know what? Let's just do it. Let's do this. No, that's not the right music, son. That's the right music. It is the Sam
and
podcast number 6. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on all your favorite podcast platforms, on the YouTube, on the Facebooks. The Facebook, which celebrated its 20th birthday this past week.
Really?
The Facebook. That was the original name.
Wow.
Yeah, the Facebook.
You like to call it the Book of Karens.
Hey now. We kind of retired that a while back. Like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell. Ding. 5 stars. Make sure you're giving us those 5 stars. And of course, SamWalkerOBXNews.com. The whole reason this is here. It's a promotional arm of SamWalkerOBXNews.com. Sign up to be a founder.
Yes.
We've got good momentum going, but as I said in my video I shot last week, trying to push this rock up this big sand dune, need all the help we can get. So please, 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 please hit that founder button, get in there, because we're going to close that founder status sooner than you realize. And the folks who jump in early going to get some pretty cool perks down the road. And we get a chance to tell you all about them very soon. So do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. We are brought to you by our good friends at StatelinePowerWash.com. Parker and Smith Hammer, serving the Outer Banks in northeastern North Carolina with over 140 5-star reviews on Google. Schedule now for winter and early spring discounts at StatelinePowerWash.com and get your free estimate. And we welcome a new sponsor.
Yay!
He's the most famous man on the Moyoc page on Facebook. It is Robert Miles and Miles Carpet Cleaning, family owned and operated. And when we say family owned, it's family operated too. Because when the last time we had him here, there was the whole family piling out of the van and coming in to clean our couches, offering top of the line carpet and upholstery cleaning services and vehicles too. Bet you didn't know that. In Currituck and on the Outer Banks with their $99 special. Forget the rest. Call the best right now at 252-207-6707. And like them on Facebook to find out all the cool specials. We talk about more about our great sponsors coming up here on the program. And the program, as we said, episode 6, I am wearing a Fuma lacrosse jersey, Fort Union Military Academy, number 6. That was the number that our son Jonathan wore when he was setting scoring records. Still owns the single season scoring record at Fort Union Military Academy. So that's where I brought it out of the closet. It's going to be all about Jonathan on today's episode, for the most part. So
episode 6.
Episode 6. That's
Fuma number 6.
Fuma number 6. That was his number, and so that's how we get right into it. So, we are recording this on Wednesday, February 7th. February 8th will be 5 years since we lost Jonathan. February 8th, 2019. And the way we're going to do, we just felt like today's show was going to be all about that. So it's, I'm going to pull this up. We've got Jonathan's picture from his boot camp. Boot camp. Yeah, his boot camp over there on the right. I've got the picture that was taken by one of Jonathan's good friends, Hershaw. Daniel, thank you. Daniel Hershaw took this at Oregon Inlet. And I know that those of you who are on Facebook and see us on Facebook, or follow me on Facebook. You can see that's the profile picture I have. That's Jonathan taking one of the little creeks that runs behind the Argon Inlet Coast Guard Station and Argon Inlet Fishing Center, and that perfect shot. And we've got it on a lot of things. So anyway, but I thought as we're talking about this, I'd run the slideshow we had that I put together for the post funeral service. So I just thought I'd run that right now. Let me get the right screen here. And again, there's that shot we talked about Jonathan, all serious looking. That's one thing we never saw in that child.
No, he liked to put it on. He liked to. Yeah. He liked the. Remember when we went to get him from the very first pickup day at Fork Union? Mm-hmm. He had decided he wanted to go. He wanted to go do the football thing, and of course, he chose the year that they were going to play.
They're playing at Oscar Smith up in Chesapeake
on ESPN. So it was like. Yeah, Fuma's already a football school, but it was like football on steroids. I mean, every coach was there, and we even called the coach, Coach Sullivan. Was it Coach Sullivan?
I think it was Coach Sullivan. Was it? Or was it Coach Bodine? Well, see now.
No. We called before to see because it said 8th graders could go.
Could make the trip.
Could go to the camp or go beforehand. So he had to go earlier than when cadets checked in.
Right.
For football. And they said, cadets. "Oh yeah, don't worry, Mom. Don't worry, Dad. It's fine. They can come early." Well, Jonathan thought it was just going to be like lacrosse camp or football camp, and it was like they were.
Yeah, it was 3 days.
Yeah, I guess he was doing like the worm in the hallway, and he just was not serious.
He was Jonathan.
Yeah, he was Jonathan.
So
and he ended up getting a concussion.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And so anyway, but my point is the first time that he was allowed to come home, we drove up on, Fridays were always pickup day. And we drove up and here he was outside of the barracks and he was looking for our car. And he was standing there in his uniform and saluted us. So Jonathan knew when to put it on.
He knew when to put it on. So anyway, we've got this photos scrolling of all kinds of different things from all ages. I think it kind of runs. Oh, he's cut off there. Sorry about that. Swimming in the pool. So it's the way it looks there. I don't know if I can pull the slate down.
So tonight, 5 years ago, is what we fondly now call the Last Supper at our house.
Yep. Talk more about that.
So I had gotten home from a horrible day at work and had really just wanted to go to bed. And I came in the house and we lived in that house. It was just a small homey house, but it was small. And there were 8 of us crammed around the dining room table and the kids had, it really was like the Last Supper, y'all. It was, we were getting HelloFresh at the time for like 4 people, but the meal somehow fed 8 with leftovers. I was shocked. And we were talking to all the boys were there. I think Adam Slade was there. And, anyway, and I really just wanted to go to bed, but everyone was excited that all their friends were there and we were sitting eating dinner. And Jonathan was like, it was like he was on the stage. He was so funny. He was so funny and he was holding the cat and acting crazy. I mean, James at one point had just tears rolling down his cheeks from Jonathan laughing. Yeah. So the next day at work, I was like, y'all, I didn't want to go. I wanted to go right home and go to bed, but the kids had dinner and we laughed and laughed. And I talked about that dinner, even in the morning. That's when I met with my girlfriends at 5:30 in the morning. We walked. I talked about it. Yeah. And I
don't know if this is working or not.
Then the irony of it all is that I kind of was in a bad mood that whole day at work. Like I felt like something was off, and it was.
Yeah.
Or ended up being off. But anyway, so tonight is always, I always think of our last dinner.
Yeah. We had that one photo. I wish I could get this pulled up. I had this working earlier. Yeah, that's going to be one of those
I'll
nights.
Be emotional, y'all. I apologize up front. So you're just going to have to accept this as who I am for today.
Issue, so bear with me here, folks. We'll bring ourselves back up here. So this is all right. Okay. So many different thoughts going into the show about how we were going to do this. And I never could get one to congeal. We've shared memories of Jonathan at Disney, talking about the photo there.
And it should be noted that we do have 2 other children that we love very much.
Yeah,
we have lots of stories we should be telling
I
about
know.
them too. I sometimes do feel guilty for that because
yeah, it's like full disclosure. It's a cliche that I use way too much.
I say it all the time.
We all say it all the time. The one thing that I did, starting to get pedicures, and I always threatened to get my nails painted. So I did the lime green thing this past summer, and I did it. I've always wanted to do it because, and people ask, "What's the lime green about the lime green on the truck?" And all this lime green thing. It was Jonathan's favorite color. What's funny is there's a picture in that. I'm going to find it. There's a picture of him and James on a bus at Disney, and James had the lime green phone. Jonathan had the orange phone. So anyway, and I found that lime green one the other day up here looking for stuff in one of the hidden drawers in this house.
Doesn't everybody have those?
Junk drawers everywhere. But explaining the lime green thing, so that's why the truck's got the accents, the lime green accents. Get so many compliments about it, because it's a chance to share a little bit of Jonathan with people. That's why I went with the lime green painted toenails, because cleaning pools, I'm wearing the sandals. And it was always something to talk about. And, it's become kind of a joke with some of our friends. And others are like, I really ought to do that. And I was like, yes, you need to get a pedicure. But those things. But there's so many different memories that I wanted to share tonight. And I just could not pick one out. There were just so many. And it was like, the Fork Union, because we got such a great second family out of that because of him. There's one story.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
he so it was spring break. He was in 7th grade, and he was a little brat. He was just a jerk, a total jerk. And I had all I could take, and I said, "That's it. I'm calling Fork Union. I'm calling the military school." And I called, and I got the application, and I put it on the refrigerator. But Fork Union at that time, I don't know if they still do, but they sent a DVD.
Yeah.
And it showed like a day in the life, or cadets, and it ends with all the cadets in their finest uniform on the graduation field, and their parade field is what it's called. But they're at graduation, and they throw up their caps. And so here I'm thinking, I'm going to show Jonathan. I'm going to show him how bad this is. And we watch that video, and he looks at me after those caps go up, and he says, "I want to go there." I said, "Oh, dear Lord." So we were like, okay, well, let's go maybe once we get up there and show him.
Yeah.
And we went, and he really, it's a love-hate. I think if you asked either of our boys, or if you asked any of the boys who graduated there, it's definitely a love-hate. It's definitely a fraternity of young men who've been through something. And for us, I felt like it was an extended family. I remember we were there for everything, and we were there sometimes 2 and 3 times a week. And mind you, it's a 3.5-hour drive there and a 3.5-hour drive back. Yep. And Colonel Feathers one day looked at us and said, "You do realize parents send their kids to boarding school because they don't get them but at the holidays."
Yeah.
And we said, "Well, we're the Walkers. That's not going to happen."
Exactly.
So anyway, we do talk a lot about Jonathan. Little Waylon, he says all the time to me.
You know what? Look at that. Oh, go back to that photo right there. Oh, dang it.
Little Waylon talks about Uncle Jonathan all the time.
All right,
he says,
I'm going to find that photo.
He says, "Uncle Jonathan's my friend," and he'll say, "When do we get to go to his house?" Or, "Uncle Jonathan visited me." He talks about Jonathan a lot. I don't know that Harper gets it, but this picture is usually in my bedroom. And
look at that photo right there. Look at that photo. Yeah. To the left.
Yeah, it looks
there
like
is
Waylon.
an orange. I mean, that is scary.
Sometimes it's a little hard to
It is
take.
a little hard. It is hard. We're talking about Waylon, who's James's son, our first grandchild. That how many similarities those two have in their looks.
Yes.
But not in any no way, shape, or form in how they came into this world, or how how Waylon's lived in the first 3 years of his life. I mean, they're totally divergent. Because Jonathan came out. Like
he
you said,
looked like a football field.
He looked like a football
looked
player.
like he had come off a football field.
Yeah, he did.
He had
like
a bruise
boxer.
under his eye.
Like a boxer.
And Waylon was perfect.
He was. Yes.
Jonathan did. He gave us the runaround from the get go,
Yeah,
and it was always on his terms. You weren't ever going to change things. Like when he was born, I was just supposed to go in for a checkup on Friday. Dr. Terryberry said, we'll do the C-section on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And well, Jonathan, when I went in for my checkup, they're like, you're having this baby within the next couple hours. And I was like, no, Dr. Terryberry said Monday. But, and he came out looking like a bruiser, but he came out on his terms. And you could never convince Jonathan to do something he did not want to do. Like we were going to go fly. We were going to do I wanted to do a Disney cruise.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I finally
you wanted to do the Disney cruise.
I did. And I finally convinced you to agree that we would do a Disney cruise. And so we told the kids, and Jonathan said, and he was what, 7, 8? And he's like, I'm not doing it. I was like, no, we're going on a Disney cruise, Jonathan. Nope, I'm not doing it. I'm like, why aren't you doing it? And James in the background goes, we watched Titanic. And I'm like, no, not really. He's like, Mom, we watched Titanic. And Jonathan's like, I'm not going on a cruise. And we did not. Well, when we went to book the cruise, in all fairness, the picture was beautiful. It was the magic on the water, and there's no land around. And I had an anxiety attack. I was like, we're not doing the cruise.
Yeah.
Or when we wanted to fly, and we were going to fly, and we were going to fly to Disney then another time. And Jonathan's like, I'm not flying. And I said, why aren't you going to fly? And James again is in the background. We watched Snakes on a Plane. I'm like, Jonathan. He's like, I'm not doing it. And literally at that moment, the TV breaks into Sully landing the plane in the Hudson. He said, that's exactly why
I'm not doing this. I'm not flying.
But for as stubborn as he was, he also held his friends dear. He was never going to rat somebody out. Yeah. He was always going to be the one that was left behind, always getting in trouble for crap that he didn't necessarily start, but he definitely got into. And Pav, was it his junior year?
Yeah.
We had at Fort Union every year a tobacco incident with Jonathan.
Yeah, we did.
Every year. And somehow we still were able to, the kid did so many tours of punishment, but Pav called us up there, and we went, and he said, look, he's really on thin ice. The kid is on thin ice. And, he had been smoking cigarettes in his dorm room, remember, and dropping them on the ground. Like, it was right below his window. So everyone knew it was Jonathan's.
Right.
And, Pav took us in his office, and he closed the door, and he said, no, I can't say this to Jonathan or any of those boys. But if I had to go back in the field, he had been in Afghanistan, I think, or Iraq. Iraq. Yeah. Pav had been in the army. Mm-hmm. He said, Jonathan's the guy I'd take with me. He doesn't ever break. He doesn't tell on anybody. He's going to be there for his buddies, even if they're not there for him. I mean, he's like, but I can't tell him that. But that's the kind of guy Jonathan was. Yeah. He loved with all his heart.
Yeah, he did. Look, there's another picture I've got up there now.
Oh, with Spencer.
Spencer.
Oh,
and look at
Spencer.
that. Yeah, that's his cousin, Spencer Hudson, who actually lives out here now. But boy, look at that. I mean, again, it's that mirror image of Waylon. So, good gosh.
Yeah. But anyway, so it was our last dinner 5 years ago. I'm having a really hard time with 5. I don't know why the number 5 is getting me.
It's the 5s. Because you count by 5s as a pharmacist, so 5s are always something. Yeah, it's that. It's one of the memories that came up on the Facebook was the Tuesday before was getting the championship rings.
Yeah, and he didn't come.
He didn't come.
No.
To that. It was his volleyball state championship rings. We got those that night. Everybody surprised me with giving me one.
Right.
And y'all all knew, but no, he didn't come. But. Yeah. Sometimes Jonathan had his own way. He definitely wanted to live life his own way.
So he
with Princess.
So even little things like that Monday. So where the Monday of the week he passed on a Friday. Mm-hmm. Which, side note, I really, really struggled with Fridays for a long time, and my girlfriends are just amazing friends. Again, they're just a great group of friends, but they started on Fridays wearing green, and what, we're 5 years in, and my friend Amy every Friday posts, and all my other friends will put pictures of what they're wearing. And as someone who's lost somebody, the fact that his name's out there or someone thinks of him means a lot. But anyway, that Monday of that week, I was doing well with my weight then anyway. I had cut up my vegetables, and I had gone to the marina and gotten my ranch dressing. I had my special container ranch dressing, And I had gotten home from work and I was all excited. I was going to have just dip some vegetables in that ranch dressing. And I couldn't find it. And I was like, Jonathan, do you know where my ranch dressing? No idea, Mom. No idea, Mom. Well, Friday, after everyone left the house that night, we knew that there were going to be just tons of people. It was a very tiny house, and we were like, we need to get this place cleaned up. Mm-hmm. And we went up to his room, and first thing I did, and Sam and I are people who we do try to laugh through just about anything. And I was like, oh my God, all that money for Fork Union. And look at this room. It's a damn mess. Yeah. And so it's literally 2:30 in the morning, y'all. We're cleaning the room, laundry piles. I think several friends helped with, it was just a mess. But as I'm sobbing and cleaning his room, and he had his bed, and I pull out all the stuff underneath it, literally the empty ranch container comes rolling out. And I was like, Jonathan, are you kidding me? You did know where my ranch dressing was. But, just all those things.
Yeah. There is that picture right there. We were talking about the tour. So on the back of every cadet at Fork Union's belt is a tick mark for every tour they do.
And a tour is a mile or an equivalent
of a mile or some task, whether it's
physical
tasks, flipping tires, the whole flipping tractor tires. So that picture, that belt from one end to the other is completely covered in tick marks. I'm trying to think is that the Walmart out there at Zion's Crossroads? It looks like it's a Walmart.
It might be.
Yeah. But
693 tick marks, I believe we counted.
So James has that belt.
Yeah,
keeps it on his dashboard of his truck, so it's always with him. That's one thing we have is every one of us has some type of memento that we carry around with us in one way or another, whether it's the green toenails or my picture, which is the picture on all the computer backdrops, and my phone is that picture of us, that picture we took of Magic Kingdom in that last trip, of the whole family. Everybody in the family carries something with Jonathan's, but you know what? We don't just carry something physical. It's here, and it's all his memories, and it's his voice. The one thing about one memory is we're driving down Ehringhaus Street. I don't know what we were coming home from or what we were going to. We were coming home, driving down Ehringhaus Street. We're Water Street in Elizabeth City. And above the intersection, they always would hang banners for different events going on in Elizabeth City. And the one banner they had up was for the energy fair that the city's electric department puts on. Mm-hmm. And he got, and I'm going to say that, energy fair. Ooh, energy. Every time I go to that intersection, that comes out. It's in my head. Energy. And I even have used that when there's been stuff we talked about energy in some way.
Right.
That's one that always, I shared it before in a previous podcast about being at Polynesian, and if there was one thing that child would do, he would find a way to do something he was told not to do.
Yes.
And that was the wet paint sign. Or it wouldn't be so much that he would do something he was told not to do, because he would invariably do that. But he would be always the one that if something was going to happen to someone and they were either going to get caught doing something or there was something bad was going to happen, it was going to happen to him. And that was where he put his arms down on that brown railing up there at the monorail station at the Polynesian. And sure enough, there's the paint all over his arms.
That
was Jonathan.
That's Jonathan.
That was him.
So he something just slid through my brain. But anyway, he is missed terribly.
Yeah. He is.
Sorry, y'all. But it's real. It's just
So we are.
So
and what we do on the day of February 8th every year now is we have a gathering at our home with our friends, his closest friends, and our closest friends and family. And it's, to hang out and catch up, but also talk about him in one way or another.
And Jen sends
Yes,
us lanterns.
I mean, or those who can't be here some way have their tie. We've got our very good friend.
She sends
Jen
lanterns.
Adams.
Jen sends lanterns every year that we send up. Last year it was too windy. I don't know how tomorrow's going to be.
Tomorrow's supposed to look actually pretty good. We lucky out. Last year the wind was blowing on shore, so we tried one just to test it, and ended up it would have landed on the house. It would have landed in the pine trees over in Dennis's yard across. That would not have been good. So
And
yeah, we'll do Chinese lanterns.
We do his favorite meal, big mean dad ribs. He called them when he was little. For some reason, Sam did ribs, and he said these are mean dad ribs. So we do mean dad ribs and twice baked potatoes, casserole, and salad. He loved a good salad. The kid would eat
he would eat
bag
salad
of lettuce and heartbeat.
Salad and French onion soup. Holy cow! He would if you had that, it was not it was gone. And then breakfast cake.
Oh yes,
you got to explain breakfast cake.
So my mom is a chocoholic. My mother loves chocolate, and when Mom would come to visit, we would get the Pepperidge Farm cakes in the freezer section, and Mom would always get it's double chocolate, so it's chocolate icing, chocolate cake, the whole deal. And Mom would have that in the morning, morning, noon, and night. They would have snacks of it, but and she would do coffee. And so he would always say, when Grandma was there, he'd say, "Oh, can I have breakfast cake?" And so he calls it breakfast cake. Yeah. So, yeah. So I have 2 in the freezer.
It's and it's a specific one because Pepperidge Farm makes several different varieties.
Right. It's the chocolate.
Chocolate and chocolate.
But then I have to buy a coconut one because James doesn't like that. So. And I personally like the coconut better. But true. Even when he was older, I mean, when he was driving and everything, he would go buy himself that cake, and lime sherbet.
Lime sherbet. That would be the other thing. That is another thing that
he would eat a whole container of
that
himself.
A whole container. So I would get like maybe a bowl of it, and he would eat the whole stinking thing. And that is one thing that kid would do. He packed on the food and at times
and the weight.
I'm not gonna lie, he was very similar to my body type as a younger kid, and then he would kind of vary, and then went to Fork Union, and he was pretty okay, but then goes to basic training, and holy cow, he's a totally different beast coming out of that. He and we haven't mentioned about how the enlistment thing. He wanted to go in the Army, and not something that I honestly wanted.
We just weren't.
We weren't sold on it.
Yeah. Nothing against anything.
No.
He was in high school. We were like, "Are you sure?" That's just not what we had planned. To be honest,
active duty, regular U.S. Army, infantry. That was what he wanted to do. So, came to us about enlisting in the National Guard, and he enlisted in the Virginia National Guard just because he was at Fork Union in Virginia. So that made things different for him, but it also put him in the track he wanted to be, which was infantry. Mm-hmm. So he got to do that, and that may have been the happiest he was basic training.
He did well.
Yeah, I mean, other than being happy, but
he did. He did. He liked it, and it was good. It was. Yeah. I'm glad he did it.
Yeah.
And he had that experience.
He did have it. Yep, he did.
So, anyway,
I'm trying to go through finding any other photos I wanted to grab here. I was hoping the
Jonathan,
slideshow would play.
He was just you couldn't help but like was it Fender who said you can't help but love the kid? He's got like this little impish smile, and he tries, but he was always pushing the limits or getting in trouble for something. But Fender was like, you can't help but love the kid.
Yeah, I know.
You want to strangle him 1 second and do the other. But right. You know.
Yep. So we knew, us being scatterbrained, it really trying to go through this. I mean, we kind of went back and forth a little bit, talked about it over the last couple of days, how we wanted to talk about Jonathan on the show, and whether we wanted to, we didn't want to go down certain paths with the discussion. We didn't want to, but we wanted to share some of the cool things.
I really didn't want to cry.
Yeah, that was.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable.
So, for me, it's always the work up to.
The lead up, yeah.
Yeah. So after tomorrow, y'all, we should record on Friday, because usually by Friday, usually by the day after, I'm fine. It's just exactly. The lead up.
Yeah. There's so many different things that run. I really can't. I can't put my brain into one place to think about, the what's, if it is what's or candy and nuts, oh, what a Christmas it would be. But it's memories. It's all about trying to remember him in ways that we enjoyed as a family together. And that's one thing that this loss, we've talked about loss. We've talked about how we grieve. And this right here, most people would not do this. Most people would not.
Most people might turn it off.
Might stop and say, you know what, trash it, and we're doing something else. No, that's not us. That is one thing that we have been very forward about, is not only sharing Jonathan with people, but sharing what it's been like to lose a child. And an adult child. He was 19 when he passed away. So we're in a different world than a parent who loses a child younger and younger and younger. And we've made connections. And that's where I want to go with this as we wind it down. I want to go with the fact that we have made connections with people in so many ways that we would never had if we hadn't had Jonathan in our lives, 3 Fork Union. But at the same time, losing Jonathan. Yeah. We have gained so much.
Definitely.
We have gained so much out of a tragedy that, and whether it's the support that we've had here from our friends, from people who've known us, my role in the community, your role in the community, what we saw and the outpouring of emotion, we still get the text and, the 3 hearts, the 3 green hearts. That's my thing. The 3 green hearts, getting those things. But then we go around, and whether it's through the Run Disney community or it's through running or in any other way, the connections we've made with people who have had similar experiences.
And I have always said this about us, and I do mean this, and this may sound off to people, so it's not meant to sound off or to put people off. Jonathan was here 1 minute, and then he was gone.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents have to go through so much more. Yeah. And so I have always said that even though it's horrible, I would not wish it on anybody. Yeah. We won the lottery when it comes to losing a child. Like our son didn't suffer. Yeah. 2 of his 2 boys that he grew up with that are James's age, so just a little bit older, but they were on the scene when it happened. Mm-hmm. And they were like, Miss Emily, he was gone. Yeah. So, oh, y'all, I'm so sorry. But you don't, we didn't have to watch our son suffer. Yeah. And to be honest, if Jonathan, he would have come out of it. But if he had to be in a wheelchair, or if Jonathan had to have surgery after surgery after surgery, he would have persevered, but he didn't have to suffer. Yeah. And so in that regard.
Yeah. And one person, maybe 2, can see because of this. We've talked about that being an organ donor, and that his corneas, and we know corneas were one of the things. There was some other, I never have heard anything. We know that was things. So we have that comfort that there's someone out there who can see, or 2 people can see because of him.
So I'm going to, you're talking about Run Disney and everything. So kind of a 3-way around. The night he passed away, I looked at my girlfriends when we got home from the hospital. They were at the house, and I was like, well, leave it to Jonathan. Fridays are ruined. And I guess I'm not going to be heading off to run. We had 2 weeks, and we were supposed to be running the Princess Weekend Challenge. And unbeknownst to me, Sam had followed them out to the car, and he said, look, if a sheriff's deputy has to take her, she'll be at the airport, and she will be at those 2 races, or at the Disney thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, many of you probably know, or you can go look up on Facebook, look up Trip Halstead. And Trip Halstead was a young fellow, I think he was 3 or 4, playing in the sandbox at his preschool. The wind came, a branch fell, and he had a lot of just a lot of medical issues. And Trip was a normal, healthy boy, and then he wasn't. And anyway, Trip, I think, ended up dying. I think it was pneumonia or something. It was kind of like not related or maybe related.
Right.
Anyway, long story short, Stacy Halstead, the mom, had created Trip Halstead updates for people just to keep know what's going on. And by the time Jonathan passed, she probably had well over 1 million followers. So anyway, and Trip had died like maybe 8 months before Jonathan. So one of my friends had sent me a message and said, "Hey, I know you're wondering about going to Disney, but Stacy's going. She's doing this. She does it. Her charity was Children's Miracle Network." Mm-hmm. Anyway, so you get to the race, and y'all, there are 15,000 people running.
Yeah,
it's unreal. The idea that you will find somebody in that is just not there. Yeah. And one of the things that I like to think about is I like to think of Jonathan in heaven, and I like to think of him as the head of the playground. Like he pushes the kids, he gets them down the slide, he plays lacrosse with them. I just think of Jonathan loved little kids. Like you could go back and find pictures of him with cousins that were little and stuff. So Jonathan loved kids. And so Colonel Feathers, their daughter Erin, had passed away. And I often think of Jonathan up there pushing kids on swings. And Trip had been... Trip had been in a wheelchair when he passed away. After the accident on. Anyway, long story short, Amy Ennis and I are running, and I'm like, I think that's Stacy ahead of us and her mom. Mm-hmm. What are the odds? So I run up to her, and I said, I'm sorry to do this to you or talk to you, but I just want you to know you're one of the reasons I'm here. I lost my son 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't going to come, but you are coming and running for Trip, so I'm running for Jonathan. And I saw her, and I told Amy when we separated, I was like, I think Trip and Jonathan said, hey, our moms are there. And so anyway, so I just think of that. I think that he brings us to people. Yep. Y'all, I am really sorry. This you may want to skip over all of this. So I am sorry. The next part of the segments, I will not be crying. I miss him dearly, but he's there. He's here.
He is. He's here. He's here with us. He is here with us.
So anyway, I do like to think of him being the playground attendant.
I was trying to find that one photo of him and Heath's son.
Porter.
Porter. Thank you. Well, here's one with him and Seth.
Oh yeah, he loves Seth.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, and this was way back. Let me throw that one up and kind of there he is with his
so his other boy cousin.
Yep, other boy cousin Seth Jackson. That's many years ago. So anyway.
So memory lane.
Yeah. So it was that we were again trying to figure out how we were going to handle today with this show, and then handling the day. It'll be a long day. I'm not going to lie. It'll be a long day.
Well, you're behind on news. I'm going to go get Harper, so she'll keep us.
That's true.
Keep us entertained.
And that's where we've thrown in this new element now, where we have grandchildren, and we've talked about it earlier about Waylon and how much he's alike of Jonathan in looks. I'm feeling Harper has a little bit of his feistiness in her.
She has, I would say that, although I think she's 100% her mama.
That's true.
But she's not going to you're not going to alter Harper's decision or Harper for whatever she's doing. She is on it. So, anyway, thank you all for staying this long.
Yeah, exactly.
And if anyone's grieving, I would have probably, even up to probably about 2 years ago, said, turn it off. We'll have to record this when I'm done crying. Mm-hmm. But I do think it's important that people see, and it's okay.
It is okay.
It is okay.
It is okay to do it in the way that you do it.
Yeah.
Because not everyone agrees. No one agrees the same way.
And that was hard for us at the beginning.
It was.
Because I cried nonstop and you did not. And
well, and it.
But that wasn't because you didn't care. Like, it was hard.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I shouldn't end it there. I'm trying to get myself under control. I'm not trying to end it there. You were completely grieving in your way, and I was in mine. Mm-hmm. And it took us about 6 months to figure out that
it's okay.
Yep.
That you do it in your own ways. I mean, whether it's outward, whether it's inward, it's
it is what it is.
It is.
I'm so glad I got it.
Yeah, that's why I was going to make sure we had a box of Kleenex instead of just a paper towel in here.
Well, that's what I got. But anyway, I am going to be good now, and we are good.
All right, so that's how we'll wrap it for now. But we when we launched the podcast, we talked about how dealing with grief would be one of the things that we would want to share. And we won't.
And we'll share more than once.
We'll share more than once. But today was going to be all about Jonathan. So,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we have a few minutes left to discuss.
Yeah, we got a few minutes. We got a few minutes. So let's
discuss
do this.
some other things.
We have sponsors to thank. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I want to say this about Miles.
we'll get. Hold on.
Okay.
Mix. Yeah. Cross the streams here. So.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
All right. So this portion of the Sam and M podcast is brought to you by StatelinePowerWash.com. Pressure washing, soft washing, painting, concrete floor sealing. Now they do more than just that. StatelinePowerWash.com, locally owned and operated by Parker and Smith Hammer, who grew up here in Currituck with a local staff, so you're keeping it local. You can buy or sell a home or land with Smith Hammer at Kingdom Real Estate Services. List your home with Smith and receive a free house wash, roof wash, deck cleanup from State Line Power Wash. Also, check out the Moyock Real Estate Market Facebook group. That's the spot to be for local Moyock real estate. Ready to freshen up the outside or inside of your home? Well, the State Line Power Wash will get you covered with their painting and staining services, or brighten the look of your primary home that's going on the market, or that vacation rental. Folks are going to start showing up houses here in a couple of weeks. If you were thinking about getting a house painted before they start showing up again for the early spring breaks, better do it now. Now, you heard me mention soft washing. It's a technique State Line uses with low pressure water to safely clean exterior surfaces. So no blowing the siding or shingles off and it looks just like new. And if you know somebody looking for a job, then StatelinePowerWash.com is immediate and seasonal opportunities in all types of areas. Over 140 5-star reviews on Google. Whatever you have, State Line Power Wash do for you. It's going to be top notch. From Moyock to Manio, Edenton to Duck. Schedule now with State Line Power Wash, StatelinePowerWash.com. Grab their winter and early spring discounts at StatelinePowerWash.com. Give them a call, 252-421-3775. That's 252-421-3775, and get your free estimate from State Line Power Wash. All right, it is the Sam and M podcast. We'll do some transition. All right. So there's other things to talk about.
Wait. Remember how earlier this week I was talking about how you like to do all these drops?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the drops. Yes.
And
yeah.
One time you could get a little knowledge and it turns you into an idiot, but no knowledge, you're a double idiot.
Hey, Sam, we appreciate you, buddy. Check Sam out.
Okay, I didn't mean for you to do them all.
We'll be right back.
Stepped all over Cantori there, giving me some props.
Sam Walker joins us live.
Okay. Yes. Okay. About the drops.
Yes, so I don't know that everyone understands
drops.
Your drops and
Okay.
how you are known for them at football and basketball games, but really it started off in radio.
Well, it started off in radio because that's what we do in radio. If you have audio and throwing in all these different things to kind of add color to the broadcast, or in some way, I go back to the Moose and Jody show, and Jody still does it now solo, and all the different drops that they had. He used the one this week when we were he was doing the story about what was that boom, which we have at SamWalkerOBXNews.com, and kind of explain what that boom might be. There was a whole boom one night last week, or was it this week? Anyway. And Jody was, blowed up. That's from SCTV. Anyway, all these different things. These are recordings of different stuff that we have collected over the years, and we hear something from a movie or a TV show.
On target. We're too close. Stay on target.
So anyway, I've always dropped that stuff in because it comes from radio. But what Emily was trying to get me to explain
Stay on target. We're too close. Stay on target.
Many of the things that I would play doing sporting events were inside jokes that probably only I got. And if the music that I play under certain things that happened during a game, certain music beds, and when I was doing baseball for the Eden Steamers, I would use a certain music bed for things. That was stuff to make me laugh. It would make everybody, and hopefully make everybody else laugh. But the jokes, a lot of times of the stuff that I use is so inside. I mean, like this music here to talk about the NFL. Unless you grew up in the early 1980s and watched the NFL Today, you would know that's the CBS NFL Today theme. But anyway, most of that's just to make me laugh in my head or laugh out loud because, that's what I mean, that's just how I am.
All right, well, let's get back on target.
Okay, all right. Yes, we'll get back on target.
I just wanted people to understand your...
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah.
Stay on target. We're too close. Stay on target.
I could do a whole show with just that stuff. Sorry.
We don't want that.
All right. Running. Yeah.
Between my crying and that, we might be. We might not make it to week 7.
The audience is gone. Everybody's bailed out here.
We might not make it to week 7.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up. We are running. Yeah, we are running. Kind of short on time. Wrap it up. Not quite there yet. Okay. This week we ran some.
We did 10 miles this weekend.
5 and 5. We did a 5 miles over in Elizabeth City with the girls, which was different because we got to run through Riverside, which I hadn't run that before, and that was actually okay. I like that. I like that run from downtown through Riverside and then back. And then we did the next day. We did 5 miles here on the island. Yep. We got our little run. I've got a 5K coming up on Saturday down at Sanctuary Vineyards. Still time to get in on that, by the way. It's the Sanctuary Vineyards 8th annual Love on the Run 5K. It's a run or walk. Outer Banks Running Company puts it on. It's from 9. Starts at 9 o'clock. Registration fee is pretty good, and you get a bottle of wine out of it too. Hey. And even the kids can register. No bottle of wine, but there's snacks, there's drinks, there's all kinds of stuff. So
I've done it a couple of times.
We've done that one, yeah. So and they say they have a new course this year, so we'll see what that's like. So and it's a trail run, which is a lot different than what I've run. Now I did the 5K, the frozen 5K. What was the deep freeze 5K? Whatever it was. For Outer Banks Running Club for their first event of the year a couple weeks ago down in Killable Hills. And that was a mixed run. So we ran the streets, ran from Aviation Park, ran down into that neighborhood to the south there, and then you cut back into Nags Head Woods. So that's kind of a mix of a trail run, but it's gravel road, but it's still a trail run. Anything that's off-road is a trail run. Mm-hmm. So I did that one. So this will be the first true trail run I did. Because I didn't run the 5K at Weeping Radish that you guys did that one year, did I?
No, I didn't.
No, you did that.
And I also did Ragnar. That was a lot.
Yeah, well, Ragnar. That'll be a whole thing. We'll have to talk about that one episode.
Two Ragnars.
Yeah. So, but running-wise, you're prepping for the
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today, you'll head down. You leave. 2 weekends from now will be the Prince's Half Marathon weekend at Walt Disney World. So that's going to be you're only doing the 10K and the half, right?
Don't say only, but yes.
You're not doing the 5K on Friday.
No.
You're just doing the 10K Saturday and the half on Sunday. So my plan is that weekend while you're gone, I'll do the 5K Friday, the 10K Saturday, and the half on Sunday.
And just to be clear, we'll be at Epcot on Friday, so I'll do way more than 5K on
Friday.
That's
true. Yeah, you'll do a lot more than 3 miles walking Epcot. And that's the thing, and a lot of these runs, we don't run. It's a walk. Like the 5K, you can literally walk that.
There's no time limit.
There's no time limit. I mean, they still, but it's the way the course is set up. They'll sweep you if you're out there really walking, but like dragging.
Not the 5K.
But not the 5K?
No, not the 5K. They don't sweep. They don't even have a time. You're not even chipped.
Oh, that's right. You're not chipped.
So no. Yeah. I mean, it starts at 5:30, and everyone's
you're done
by 7:30.
7:30. Even the slowest of slow. Yeah. In the SAFs. So yeah, that's the running stuff. We took last week was kind of a crazy week for the two of us, because think about what we did last minute. So we go to Lost Colony Tavern for the Manio Porter drop. That was literally deciding 30 minutes before we left. Let's go.
Which I'd like to say, I saw that they have Wing Wednesdays till April, so we need to go do that.
So we're going to have to maybe figure out
Do
a
a
way
Wing
to
Wednesday.
do a Wing Wednesday and then come back and do the podcast.
Maybe.
Since we're on this Wednesday recording schedule, or maybe we have to jump to a Thursday one night. The other thing was on Saturday, we went to Duck and went to the OBX Women in Wildlife
Yeah, that was cool.
reception. So we got a chance to do that. And in fact, this was kind of the scene setter. And if you've been on our Facebook page or the YouTube, you've seen it. It was just the video of just a wide shot pan around. This is in the conference room at the Duck Town Hall on the first floor. It's on display till April 24th, and it features 4 women photographers from here on the Outer Banks. And all of them in some way knew us. Cindy knew you from something, because I was trying to figure that out.
I think from when I was working with Tess and Cole.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what it's from. Okay, all right. So when you were in your campaign days, then Eve Turek is one of the other photographers. I knew her I knew her from her photography, but I knew her from seeing her out on the boardwalk shooting during the summer and the fall when I would run the boardwalk. So anyway, it was cool. That was a really cool experience. So what we're trying to get to is we decided to do another Sam and M podcast on the road.
Yep.
And that's going to drop Friday evening on YouTube and Facebook. Cindy, is it Getchus or Cindy Seraphin, Eve Turek, Joyce Edwards, and Jacqueline Orsolak. Their photography is on display. The first floor conference room at Ducktown Hall through April 24th. It's open to the public Monday through Friday from 9 until 4:30. So it's a regular business hours. If they have something going on in Town Hall, sometimes they'll have it open. But more details of the show, find it at the Town of Duck at townofduck.com, the website.
And the photography is just amazing.
It's amazing.
It really was.
We came home with stuff.
Yeah.
But we've got some new
I can't wait to show Harper and Waylon tomorrow.
I know the kids
the
are
book
that book
with
so.
the little foxes.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to showing them that tomorrow. But but it's a really cool show. It's worth your while. Take the time, head up to Duck to go check that out. And you got till April 24th to see it. Pharmacy questions. You've had questions.
I have
and
had
you've
a
had
lot
answers.
of questions. I
Yeah.
have had a lot of questions. So real quick, I'm seeing in the pharmacy like almost weekly changes with the weight loss medications. So don't get discouraged. I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, I've tried to get it, I can't." So don't get discouraged. Keep checking with your insurance company. And like a lot of people, I ran across this twice this week who had prior authorizations and they were getting it filled at the retail pharmacy where I worked, and then it was said, "No, you can't get it here." We call the doctor's office. The doctor's office, like, their prior authorization's approved till such and such a date. We call the insurance company. They are still approved, but they have to go through mail order now.
Oh.
So we're seeing that. So that's still positive, though. You can still get it, but it's still positive. Someone else sent me a message. They had been getting Mounjaro on a coupon, but now their insurance is going to cover Zepbound, and with a coupon, it brings it down like another $200. So constantly be checking. I don't want people to get discouraged.
Yeah.
I think the other thing, I had a friend who had to do, you have to maybe do a failed medication before, and she was able to do the medication orally and it didn't work, and then literally the next month they started her on Zepbound.
Right.
So or Mounjaro, what are the two? But anyway, so just you may need to be calling the number on the back of your insurance card, asking what medications they cover, what the hoops you have to jump through to get them. But I'm seeing it change like daily, or weekly, maybe more. But please don't hesitate. I've had so many people reach out to me. That's what probably my number one question is. I'm always like, oh, wait. And I want to respond. So if I didn't respond to you, please just reach out to me again. But to keep on. I think it's going to be.
Yeah. It's yeah.
I think in 2 years, I think it's going to be
2 years.
I know that seems like forever, but I really feel like I look at other drugs, and that's about what the time is before things become like a standard. So anyway, I just wanted to pass that on.
And we won't even get into the whole discussion about the state health plan and dropping that whole thing. So
I will say Ozempic seems to be the one that people are getting really with not too many issues. Like the prior authorizations go pretty quick. I will say that Mounjaro and Zepbound seem to take a little bit longer. And then Wegovy, the problem with Wegovy is we just can't get the starting doses. So that's the problem. They're not making it. So if you're waiting on that, you just can't get it. So that's the problem with that. But please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out to me about those medications. Any side effects you might have. I've got some tips and tricks to help you maybe get around some of the side effects too. So anyway, that's all. I just wanted to pass that on because I know we talked about it.
All right. Do we have time? Super Bowl and Grammys, since they all tie together in one way or another. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
I have never really watched the Grammys.
Yeah.
I haven't.
One of the best Grammys performed. One thing about it, the award show season, the Grammys are always the best show because it really is. The music industry knows how to do things in terms of boom, 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 make it entertaining throughout the entire show. And that Grammys was one of the best TV shows, one of the best award shows, one of the best versions they've done. Not just because of how it played out, but with the music, the way the musical artists were mixed in. Everything about it was great. But then...
Well, first.
Yeah.
My very first tape I ever bought,
Oh, yeah.
with my babysitting money.
Right.
Was Tracy Chapman.
Uh-huh.
And so I have always been, as a matter of fact, I've probably now listened 20 times on Spotify I've gone to the album and listened since Sunday, but I could sing every song on there. And so we had just at work last week or week before discussed the Luke Combs Fast Car. And I was like, I like it, but it's not Tracy Chapman. I mean, it's just not in my eyes. I cried watching them sing that. And I cried for several reasons. One, it took me back to a place and a time like where I was so happy and my friends, and it just took me right there. Yeah. Two, watching Luke Combs and him being like, oh my God, I'm singing this with the woman that, like, you could see his emotion. Right. I just loved it. And then of course Taylor was up singing with it, and I mean, I just absolutely loved it. So I love that. And then I was super excited that Taylor got her 13th Grammy, and she announced her new album, which, like everybody else, I'm trying not to say Dead Poet Society.
Yeah, I know. Everybody would say Dead Poet Society. No.
But I mean, and then I fell asleep. Typical Emily Jane. I was asleep, like, and you're like, she's getting the album of the year, and I'm like, oh, let me get my glasses on, and I watched her accept it, and then I went back to sleep. So I didn't watch all that. I did watch Miley Cyrus too, and so to me, it was exciting on many levels. But honestly, if I had to pick my favorite of the whole night, I can't get enough of watching a replay of the Tracy Chapman and Luke. Luke Combs. I wanted to say, I don't know what I wanted to say, but anyway, that was just amazing. And I do want to just say this. I think people have nailed this on the head. I haven't seen any negativity about that performance at all.
Yeah.
And you had a black gay woman and a white cis male up there singing with their hearts and bringing people together. Yeah. And I think that's something we need a lot of in our society. So it just made me so happy on so many levels. And I'm not trying to get political or anything like that. I'm just saying it makes me happy. So
we had quite a bit of North Carolina up there.
Yeah.
Luke Combs.
Yeah, that's
right.
But
also Fantasia doing the tribute to Tina Turner.
Yeah, I did. Yes. I wasn't quite asleep, but she was amazing.
Yes,
was awesome. Yes.
The whole in memoriam. That's the other thing that they do right with that show. Annie Lennox with for Sinead O'Connor, and Stevie Wonder doing what he did. That was something about the Grammys that they do the in memoriam better than any of the other shows, because I mean, if anybody should take note when the Oscars come around, because the Oscars is appointment television for us, even though we never get to see them. I cannot wait to watch Oppenheimer though.
It is our date night. It's our yearly date night.
Our yearly date night is to watch the Oscars. Is the in memoriam on the Oscars. Just replay what TCM does. If they would just do that, because TCM does one the end of the year. They post it on YouTube. Just play that. That's all they got to do. And that'll take care of it. Super Bowl. We are running short on time. We got to do a spot. Super Bowl.
I can't wait.
Can't wait. It should be good.
Oh, and today was Taylor's first Tokyo concert.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the whole Tokyo thing.
Yes,
whether
and
that's all going to go off. And whether
So
they pull it
anyway,
off.
yeah. So I'm all for it. I'm excited. I've got my sweatshirt.
Right.
My friendship bracelet shipped,
You're
so I'm
all
good.
set. All right. Well, we do need to talk about our other sponsor on the show. You know what I forgot to do was the graphics. All right. Well, we owe them a graphics pop. The winter doldrums. Well, if they got you tired of looking at those dingy carpets or furniture, you didn't notice the music. It's one of the furniture showcases on The Price is Right. Maybe you're thinking it's too early to start your spring cleaning. Well, it's never too early, especially if you have a vacation rental, because that sucker is going to be getting busy here sooner than later. Well, then you need to call Miles Carpet Cleaning and get those carpets, the rugs, the upholstery, even your vehicle interiors looking and smelling like new. Serving Currituck and the Outer Banks, the Miles Carpet Cleaning family has been cleaning things up on both sides of the water for the last 8 years. Their $99 special can't be beat. Get 3 rooms and a hallway cleaned to perfection. They throw in the orange scent carpet deodorizer and Scotch Guard for just $99. That's Miles Carpet Cleaning. Book it now before the spring rush begins. 252-207-6707. Find more great offers by following Miles Carpet Cleaning on Facebook. Robert Miles and his family will take care of you like you're one of the family. Forget the rest. Call the best. Miles Carpet Cleaning at 252-207-6707. That's 252-267-6707. The script went away on me, so anyway.
Say it one more time.
252-207-6707. And Miles Carpet Cleaning on the Book of Faces. That's how you do it.
And I will say, we've called him desperate several times,
Oh,
and
yes.
he's here the next day, or where
The next
James
day, he was here within a couple of hours.
I mean, and they do a great job. So,
They do.
you know, we've used him several times at several
Yep.
different places. So I cannot say enough. And we've used him for furniture and floors, and every time he's
Miles-
really good. So I will definitely say, please
Yes.
call Miles, because they're so kind and so nice, but they
Yep.
do a really good job.
Call Robert Miles, who's an even bigger celebrity on the Moyoc Facebook page than any of us. So, all right, we do need to get out of here, so we will throw in a couple of things. The Winter Market at Dowdy Park in Nags Head resumes Saturday. Local vendors serving up their handmade wares Saturday from 9 until noon. The 46th annual Frank Stick Memorial Art Show is at the Dare Arts in downtown Mania. That wraps up February 24th. They just announced all the award winners. We'll have all that details for you tomorrow at samwalkerobxnews.com. I say tomorrow. Long tail on the podcast, dummy. We'll have that for you. If you haven't seen it, we'll have it for you. The 8th annual Love on the Run 5K Vineyard Run and Walk with the Outer Banks Running Company. That's Saturday at Sanctuary Vineyards from 9 to 1. And the Cajun Occasion headed into Mardi Gras, which is next week.
I know, crazy.
I know. We'll be doing our thing on Ash Wednesday next week. Experience the taste and sounds of New Orleans on the Outer Banks. Just playing Dixieland, delicious jambalaya, gumbo, cornbread, courtesy of Coin Jock Catering Company food truck. Yes, David's going to be cooking it up right.
Yum.
Alongside your favorite Sanctuary Vineyards wines. Noon to 4 on Super Bowl Sunday. Tickets start at $35. Kids 12 and under are $20 each. Tables are $3.50. Includes 8 adult tickets, a swag bag, and 3 bottles of Sanctuary Vineyards wine to enjoy. College the Albemarle had the Performing Arts Center in Elizabeth City welcomes What a Wonderful World. It's a Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald tribute on Valentine's Day. That's Wednesday the 14th. That's 7 o'clock at COA in Elizabeth City. A couple other things we got for you at samwalkerobxnews.com. Our questions for the candidate series has started to drop. The Dare and Currituck Commissioners candidates and the Currituck Register of Deeds, those who have opposition in the primaries. We've asked them a series of questions. They've given us the answers. We print it. You decide however you want to put it. So,
Yes.
Anyway.
And don't forget the Whiteout Party.
Whiteout Party, Moyoc Women's Club Whiteout Party coming up sooner than later.
Yep, March 16th. So if anyone wants tickets, please reach out to me. Please.
Yep. Head us up. All right. We are going to ski daddle here on this episode, number 6 of the Sam and M podcast.
Number 6.
Number 6. There it is right there. Yep. So that's what we got for you. All right. It's the Sam and M podcast. It is brought to you by State Line Power Wash, StateLinePowerWash.com, Parker and Smith Hammer, serving the Outer Banks of Northeast North Carolina. Get those winter and early spring discounts at StateLinePowerWash.com. And Miles Carpet Cleaning, family owned and operated, offering top-of-the-line carpet and upholstery cleaning services in Currituck and on the Outer Banks. Like them on Facebook or give them a call at 252-207-6707. Like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell.
5 stars.
5 stars. Favorite podcast app, YouTube and Facebook. That's where you find us. Don't forget, we also got the On the Road specials that we are dropping periodically. The next one coming out on Friday. So make sure you check that out.
And if anyone has anywhere they'd like us to visit you, please shoot us an email or a text or something, and we will try to do us on the road and come see you there.
Yeah, hit us up with the Sam Walker OBX News at gmail.com. DM us on the socials. SamWalkerOBXNews.com. Thank you to all our founders, but we need more. We need more founders. We need more people to sign up and jump on board.
Come on.
And he'll push it, rock up the sand dune, please. All right? So that'll do it. See you next time on the Sam
and M
podcast.
Bye.
Bye.